Well, first it was beef and now eggs. New research is linking common foods with bacteria in your intestines that maybe increases your risk of heart disease. Let's bring in Dr. Kevin Campbell, a practicing cardiologist and assistant professor of medicine at the University of North Carolina. So the last time we talked, Doc, you told me to think twice a little bit about the hamburger. But what about the hard-boiled eggs? What's wrong with these foods and heart disease, doctor?
You know, it's a real common theme. When we talked about the red meat, bacteria in our gut or in our stomach or intestines has been breaking down something called carnitine and turning it into a substance called TMAO. This substance helps cholesterol attach to blood vessels and forms blockages in the heart that cause heart disease and stroke. Now they're telling us that eggs, from a new study, have a compound called lecithin that is broken down in the gut by the same bacteria to form more TMAO. So there's multiple ways bacteria are causing heart disease.
So is there any way to clear out the bacteria that's developing the bad stuff, the TMAO?
You know, that's very interesting. One of the things that researchers are talking about is, could it be that we add antibiotics or probiotics to yogurt and things like that, so we change the intestinal flora of our intestines, or do we treat people with antibiotics? Interestingly, in these studies, if you went on a vegetarian diet for 6 months and then came back and challenged with red meat, you did not make TMAO because you no longer had the bacteria present.
Very interesting. I'm still looking for ways to still keep the burger, but we'll talk more about it as we get more information, Dr. Campbell. I have to ask you about this other study. It came out a couple weeks ago, but we've been trying to figure out a way to do it because it's so interesting. Apparently, in one journal, they were taking a look at Tylenol and whether or not taking Tylenol may reduce your anxiety of existential threats. So reduce your anxiety about death or your identity, these really big thoughts. That somehow Tylenol might help quell that. What are your thoughts about this?
That was a very interesting study. It was conducted at the University of British Columbia in Canada. And the thing about the study is they actually compared anxiety levels in graduate students who took Tylenol versus sugar tablets. What they found was that it did, in fact, reduce anxiety related specifically to thoughts of death and dying and the meaning of life and all the things that cause these anxious feelings. We know that Tylenol blocks pain signals in the brain, and we think that not only physical pain but maybe emotional pain, and that may be why this works.
But we have to be careful about the dosage, right, Doc? This isn't just something, go out and pop a Tylenol if you're feeling a little anxious today.
That's exactly right, because a lot of folks who suffer from anxiety and depression may have suicidal thoughts, and Tylenol is very dangerous if you take too much of it. It can cause liver failure and even death. So we're not ready to say that Tylenol is the drug of choice for anxiety, but it's very interesting and needs further study.
It is very interesting. All right, that's good context, just to keep it in perspective. All right, Dr. Campbell, great to see you as always. Thank you.
Thank you for having me today.